Alright, so here's the ABS speed sensor on the 2008 Scion XD, and it took me forever to figure out, but there's a little cord on the back down here that you can jam a very small flathead screwdriver, and there's a tab that you kind of have to press down on to get this off. Now I ended up there's this big housing here, this guy, that holds, it's kind of like a strain relief for this wire, it holds the whole thing around it. I took that off because I couldn't figure out what the hell I was doing, but I don't know, maybe you can get it off without taking that housing off and just jamming a screwdriver in there and angling it down and pressing down on that little tab and then pulling out. It'd probably be easier than taking off that whole housing. So I'm going to show how this speed sensor gets taken off. You can see that this is like a little shell around the connector, and there's a clamp. Look at how much salt this is. Oh my god, so much salt. There's this little housing that goes around the connector. I don't know what the housing's doing there, because it's not like it's keeping the salt out, but you basically want to crack this thing open. Well, not crack it open. When you want to get this open, oh, so much salt. So much salt. At the bottom, and then up here, same deal at the top, to try and open this guy up so you can pull the connector out of the speed sensor. Alright, well, you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Probably not really, but better than nothing. But the game, there it goes. So it kind of pops off, and it leaves behind it. You want to take this whole thing off. God, look at all that crap. So much bad stuff in there. Electronics hates all this stuff. So you can kind of like take this guy off. There it comes. There we are. And then you can see the connector. But if you look, this guy was here. Look at how much junk is in there. Good lord. Right, so to get this guy out, what I end up having to do is take a very small screwdriver and jam it in the back here. There's a little tab that you have to pull down on. And then at the same time when you're doing that, you pull back on this guy, and I actually jammed a screwdriver in here and kind of pried out while I was lifting up with this guy, and then pry out, and then I got it loose. I'll show you in a sec. Right, so I got this thing out, and then here in the back, you can see that little hole that I put right next to my thumbnail. I put my screwdriver in, and then you can see the tab that has to be pressed down on for it to release. And then in here you can see one side of that connector has some corrosion on it, just a little bit, but you know, it's not supposed to be there. So I'll probably like clean this out with some rubbing alcohol and then put some dielectric goop in there, the electrical contact goop, and hopefully that'll take care of the ABS light. A lot of salt though.